This guy, Lord God. Rosanna, what up? What up?
What's happening, man?
Rosanna is there, ready to roll. What up, Rosanna? I tell you, you and my boy Eddie, you guys should be like part-time models, man. I don't know.
Who?
You and Eddie.
Dude, you got a lady in your comment box that said you look like Boris Koja.
That is true. That is true. I wish I could get some of that money, dog. That would be nice.
Yeah, man.
Let me bring up. I'm gonna slide the thing over here so I can see. I can see her too. That's a good idea. Having the comment, you can look at this one and have the comments over there. Rosanna, what's up?
Hey, Rosanna Jackson.
California.
How you doing, A. Beezer?
Beezer, I got your email, brother. I promised I'd get to you. I got the house full of kids, the dog, wife home, whole city shut down. I got you
You're in a
covered.
hurricane.
Hey, I'm in a hurricane, bro. I'm in a hurricane. I promised I'd get you straight, brother Beezer. Okay, class. Good morning, class. This is Kris Haskins with the realestateroundup.com. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a great topic, something new, fresh, exciting. My mission statement to raise the financial literacy of my fellow mankind through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Saying that, I want to introduce you, if you don't know him already, my brother, Ronnie Haskins. What's up, bruh?
Hey, Kris, how you doing, man? Thank you for that introduction. And I'm glad that you've been doing real estate for over 15 years. You're a highly respected entrepreneur.
Thank you. Yes, but I had to introduce you. I was supposed to introduce you first.
Oh.
I gotta tell. I'm my brother Ronnie Haskins been a car dealer forever. He's a car dealer, guys. Mastered the car game out in Colorado Springs, Colorado, about an hour from Denver. Is that right, Ronnie?
That's correct.
Nice. Thank you for hanging out with me, man, and sharing your knowledge that you've been dropping on me all my life. I get to get more out of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. And I'd like to thank you for dropping your knowledge on me for being a real estate investor for the past 15, 16 years. I feel like I learned something from you.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's so weird that we don't really, guys that are viewing, my brother and I really didn't talk a lot until about 2 months ago when I interviewed him. Well, maybe that was 3 months ago. I'm like, you know what? I want to interview my brother because I interview all these other people, and I'm a firm believer of start with family. Start with family. If you want to give some money away, give it away to your family. You know, how can you support your family? Most of the houses I buy are from people that family has left them alone. They haven't helped them. So I'm like, let me introduce my brother. Let me interview my brother. And this thing has turned into a whole life of itself. Would you agree, my brother?
I think it's so fantastic that we get to do something together. So for you guys that are listening, Kris and I are 6 years apart. We're 6 years apart. So like we were never in the same middle school. We were never in the same high school. He was always way behind me. Now we love each other, and every time we get together, it's like we never left each other, but we're just so separated that when we started doing this, we were like, man, this is going to be fun. We're going to do this the rest of our life.
Nice.
So that's what we do.
Let's get rolling. And if you've got a super chat, we will answer all super chat questions immediately because you pay for that. All other questions we'll have to answer at the end about entrepreneurship, running a business, or real estate. So let's get right to the shared economy, Ronnie. And I know I dropped it on you. Well, today's topic was baby steps to get started in business and including the shared economy. That's what we want to help you with. And the premise of that is people don't even get started is because my brother and I agreed that, but with meeting people and other entrepreneurs throughout our travels and around the country, actually, perfection paralysis, Ronnie, give me your definition of that and how you see that with happening with people not getting started.
Yeah. So when I started out in business 20 years ago, I had a lot of perfection paralysis. You should write that down. Perfection paralysis, because whenever you think about starting to do something and you find yourself trying to make what you're trying to do perfect before you bring it to market or before you ask your brother to buy it or whatever the case may be, if you're trying to make it perfect, you could end up paralyzed because, come on, man, you're never going to get it to be absolutely perfect. So perfection paralysis can take on a life of itself and keep you stuck and stagnant for long periods of time. And then I'm a firm believer of the learning is in the failure. So the quicker you get started, the quicker you can fail, and then you can learn and get better.
What do you think about done being better than perfect, Ronnie? Done being better
Getting
than
the job
perfect.
done?
Yes.
Well, I think, when you're learning this concept of perfection paralysis, it's important not to give an inferior product or mediocre advice or whatever you're doing. We're not saying rush to market. We're not saying that. You already went to college, you got your degree, you're ready to go to work and be the best print shop in town. Well, your signage doesn't have to be perfect today.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the job, getting the doors open and providing your master skill set to the public and then making a better sign 3 months from now is more important than having a perfect sign on your shop today. That's
Right.
what I mean.
So done, I know the guy from Facebook says done is better than perfect. Getting it done. You know what, Ronnie? I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you, man. People have stayed with me even though my product wasn't like perfect. Even though some of my stuff wasn't. I was in the making. Like when I wrote my first book and did my first course and all that stuff. People will. What I found is people will still work with you as long as you're sincere about wanting to do better.
Yeah. I think you're right, Chris. Absolutely. Think about Microsoft. Remember when they had, what were they called back then? Before XP, it was Microsoft 10 or Microsoft 9, Microsoft 6.
Yeah.
I found out a long time ago that we were the beta testers and we
Oh
were paying
wow.
for it. They never brought a perfect product to market. They brought a product that was good and ready, but it never was perfect. They never worried about getting a perfect product.
So I'd like to hear about some of our viewers. What do you do to get over your perfection paralysis? I'm over it, man. I'm like, I don't mind. Like the whole when we do this thing, I'm messing up constantly. I have no problem.
We
And the
know.
critic, huh?
I said, we know.
And it's weird. I never told you this, dude, but I get a bunch of hate email, Ronnie.
Really?
Oh my, OM Jesus, OM Jesus. People will talk about how my camera works bad, how I stutter over my words, how I don't pronounce my R's when I say they. I might say they walk down the street instead of they're walking down the street. I mean, I get so much hate mail, man, and it kind of weighs on you from time to time.
Yeah.
But anyway, you move forward. So let's talk about this. I got so many bullets here to talk about. Please, guys, comment about how you get over your perfection analysis, or if you're stuck in it and how we can maybe help you. The sharing economy, Ronnie, you already are. Remember, I talked to you. Matter of fact, last night and early this morning, I didn't even know what the shared economy was, Ronnie, until 2 days ago.
Really?
And I'm talking to you about it. And you're like, dude, what the hell? What is that? It's so crazy when you talk to a true entrepreneur. We don't have the time to break down shit and label things and put it in a box because we're too busy doing it.
I'll give you a good example about that. You remember what year did The Secret come out? Remember The Secret?
I do remember. I don't even know when it came out.
I called you and I said, it was like, I don't know, man, like 2003, 2002. If you guys remember, post it in the comments when The Secret came out. It's a book, it's like anyhow, Oprah
Yeah.
had it. And I
I
called
know what
Chris
it
and,
is.
yeah, but I remember calling you back around that time. And I was like, Chris, how you doing today? And you'd be like, man, I'm highly blessed. And I was like, really? And you explained it to me. You were like, well, my kids are healthy. I'm moving forward. Everything else is great. And so when people were like, hey, have you read The Secret? I was like, well, I've been kind of living The Secret for 20 years. You know, like
Wow.
I believe that I'm going to be successful.
Nice. Nice. So the sharing economy, I wanted to talk to you about my roundup family. Let me read. Let me give you some data so I can get up inside, get all up in your head. I gotta move you around a little bit. The sharing economy, I just want to read an article from, I'll read a few lines, Ryan, so both of us can kind of segue over to it. Sharing economics this is from Investopedia. Sharing economics allows individuals and groups to make money from underused assets. In this way, physical assets are shared services. Physical assets are shared services. And at the end of this training, I'm going to give you some websites where you can put some of your assets that you may not even know is an asset up for sale. But Ryan, when I talk to you, I'm like, you're already living the sharing economy. You are sharing your knowledge with your clients. Tell us a little bit how you're walking and talking already in the sharing economy with your clients.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, so I learned a long time ago, if you ever have people coming to you and pushing product, they want to sell you this pen, and you really want to look at a lot of different pens to make your mind up, but they're real interested in you buying this pen, you probably should check yourself, because product is something that you end up paying more for. Like, what I'm trying to say is solutions are more important than products. I have this knowledge given to me as my financial planner. He works for a brokerage that manages many, many firms, and it's probably a better example because it's not just MetLife. MetLife is a captive audience. They only provide life insurance that is provided from MetLife. So you have to qualify through them, to go to them, and it may not be the best product for you. So I like working with a broker that offers me a portfolio of items that I can purchase from based on what my needs are. And my needs are different than yours and Chris's and everybody. So I run my business that way. So when you come to talk to me about a car, I'm less interested in selling you a metal piece of object than I am talking to you and helping you understand what you need. And Kris, you're going to laugh at this, but 90% of my job is getting you to understand what I already know and you are having a hard time grasping. I call it, most of the time you're in your own way. You know, you really don't need another car with a third seat because you already have one. But in your mind, you're thinking, I need another $50,000 car. And I'm like, you really don't need that. This is for you to go to work in. Your wife already has a car with a third seat. Why are you getting two of them? Yeah. And you'd be surprised. People don't even think about that. Mm-hmm. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. You know, like, look for solutions and multiple solutions instead of just, this is the best pen to buy.
So in this sharing economy, Ron, you are sharing your knowledge, and I'm going to break down how I'm sharing with my clients too. It's going to blow your mind what I'm doing with my coaching clients, how we're using the sharing economy. So when somebody sits down, Ronnie, and for our viewers, you have obtained all the knowledge for the cars. I mean, you're a walking dictionary when it comes to car ownership. And we talked about living intentionally. How are you putting together what you know and helping people to buy a car with intention, as opposed to saying, this is what I like, this is what I want 50,000, I want computer, I want likes and wants is what you always talk about.
Yeah, man. Likes and wants. If you're following along and you don't write anything else down, write this down. Likes and wants. Likes and wants cost you money. And they always cost you more money. And here's a good example. I had some people come in 2 weeks ago. They wanted a diesel truck. They had in their mind, we can spend $45,000. So when I bring that up on my screen, a $45,000 truck for 72 months at 4%, it's $771 a month. Okay, $771 for a $45,000 diesel truck. Guys, that's a truck that's going to have like 60,000 miles on it. I mean, diesel trucks are super expensive, and so they were prepared to do that and sign a long-term loan for a truck like that. I gave them a solution that provided them with a Toyota Tundra lease for 3 years at $475 a month. So if you do the math, They're going to save $300 a month, $296. Before I get to that, I realized and talked to them and listened to them. They wanted a diesel truck. They liked the idea of a diesel truck, but they were going to be pulling a pop-up camper that weighed like 3,000 pounds. And so they didn't realize that they didn't need a diesel truck. Only thing they needed was a 5.7 liter V8, something that would get them to work and drive and do what they needed to do. So, all right, so that's what I'm talking about when we're talking about making a conscious, intentional money move instead of I got to have what I want, what I like, because that costs you more money. But it doesn't work if you just take that go back to that 296 I said that you're saving. If you do nothing with it, you got to be disciplined with that 296 and apply it to your life. Invest in real estate or whatever the case may be. Make sense?
Yeah, that's nice. You're investing the difference in yourself.
Yeah.
We got to talk about, man, that brings me up to speed. We got to talk about keeping money too. What the definition of keeping money. We'll do a whole training on that. So, living intentional. Living intentional. I like that.
Intentional. Yeah, every choice you make is intentional. I mean, for you guys out there, my wants and likes, I like to keep below $5,000. Phones, watches, things of that nature, below $5,000. Then go ahead, have fun with your wants and likes. Yours may be higher than that. Yours may be lower than that. But you got to put a number on your wants and likes, or your money in your pocket will find a place to go.
Nice. Okay, so I want to tell you about the sharing economy, what we are doing for our clients, Ronnie. I know you. When I look at your business, I'm picturing me sitting down. I get to talk to you anytime about cars, and guys, Ronnie has helped me with the car. I'm done buying cars. Done. I'm leasing from here out, which I should. I heard it a long time ago. I finally talked to my accountant a week ago. She's like, you can write it all off. Well, let me break it that you can write out the majority of the payment. It's a complete tax write-off. So, but what we're doing for clients, Ronnie, with the shared economy, I had several of my clients call me, and that everybody wants to make extra money. So this Airbnb phase, or I'm gonna call it a phenomenon. Airbnb phenomenon, guru, the big names
Lyft, stuff like that.
Lyft, yes, it's another one too, where something rabbit. It's another where you can literally call them and they'll come deliver something. What is
you like Uber and Uber Eats and stuff like that?
Yeah, Uber Eats, same thing. Anyway, what I'm talking about is I want to challenge our viewers. What can you do right now? I want to give them some suggestions right now. How can they create value? What do they know? Like, Ronnie, your value, honestly, is what you know. I don't care about your office, the cars you have, even your employee that work with you, or people that you hire, the quality of the cars. To me, when I look at your business, I think about it is really based on what's in between your ears. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, and the solutions I provide, absolutely. I mean, people, they end up paying me for the car, Kris, but why they work with me is because they know I've got the right answers. You'd be surprised, man. I'm not even interested in cars. None. Most people expect me to be like, oh, I love this, or like, oh, what kind of car collection you have? I'm like, I hate cars because they're a bad investment. Unless you're spending $1 million on a car, $1 million, it's a bad investment. Once you spend $1 million like Jay Leno, then you can go ahead and do that. But that's like keeping art. So
yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm not interested in cars.
It's so crazy. People want to talk to me about houses, which I love houses, but I'm like, I don't care if I see another house as long as I live. I don't care. I have seen
that one makes
houses.
money. That one loses money, right?
Right. Right. I'm like, dude, they're all headaches, all of them. I mean, obviously, I have to deal with them, just like you with cars. I'm sure you don't want to go home and freaking have to talk about cars, right?
I do. Yeah, it's just a fact of life, But I think it's just funny. Like I had a lady get upset with me. I was at a networking thing, and she was like, "I'm looking at getting this particular car," and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool car." And she goes, "You're not interested in that?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not interested in cars." Yeah. And then she's like, "I don't want to work with you." I was like, "Okay," But what she wasn't understanding was, you need me on this wall. You want me on this wall. You don't want me to be emotionally trying to sell you something. hey man, you really got to get this one. This is off the chain. That becomes a want and a like. You want me to go, Kris, this is crazy. Have you thought about doing this? Because it'd be less money and we can take that extra money and go do something else with it.
So what is your,
and the people that get that work very well with me.
Yeah, I like it too. That's that's exactly what I told my wife. I'm like, look, dude, his value is worth $1. It's worth whatever he tells you is worth a fee. You could probably charge just for consultations, right?
I probably could, but
Anyway,
yeah.
So listen, what is your unique? We were talking about. Well, go ahead. You got anything for me? I got a hope. I could ask you questions all day.
Well, so here's what I wanted to find out. Like, you got out the music industry. For those of y'all that don't know Kris, or you're getting to know Kris, he went to college to be a musical engineer, and then he got into the music industry. How long did you stay in the music industry? 5 years?
7 years. I'll show you my plaques real quick.
Okay. So yeah, Kris was working in the music industry for 7 years as a producer, and he owned a studio.
I need to put these things on the wall. I'm so embarrassed. I don't even want to show my kids, man, that I used to work with Dave. I mean, this is from Eminem with 8 Mile.
That's a platinum album, right?
Yes, that one sold 4 million, I think. This is 702. That one was 1 million.
So here's my question. Like, that all crumbled because Kris got out of the business because, from what I remember you telling me, is that you loved the music, you didn't like the business. Like, people watch Empire nowadays, and from what I hear, the music industry is even worse than that. It's real cutthroat. So, but that I don't want to get. My thing is, we're on the topic of perfection paralysis. When you decided, I'm done with real estate. I'm done with music. I want to start the real estate game. What did you experience in your life as perfection paralysis? Like, when you were formulating your mind and how you were going to start your business, what slowed you down so that our viewers can understand they don't need to go that slow? Like, something that was a speed bump, that it was in your mind and you shouldn't have spent so much time trying to make it perfect. You should have kept going and you would have moved faster.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's a great question, brother. I would move faster about a couple things. First thing that most investors or business people is trying to get all the numbers right. Remember last week we were talking about cost. You have to know a little bit about everything. You got to know
a little bit about everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Real estate investors have to know a little a little bit about everything. It's so much. And yes, I got out of the music business because the music business is 90% business, 10% music. All right. So no, that's Rwanda. That's my wife. I'm using my wife's email. Princess is my wife.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
Yeah, I got out of, when I got into it. I needed to perfect the numbers, repairs. That's the big thing. I needed to find out. I was scared. The first thing was repairs. I was scared. I couldn't estimate how much it would cost to fix up a house. How much was central heating and air? How much was electricity? How much was painting? How much was plumbing? How much was flooring, roofing, windows, siding, etc., etc. Kept me from making offers. Second thing, scared to talk to people. Scared to talk to people. When I go talk to a homeowner, I walk in there and be like, "Hi."
Can I get the house?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. When I go meet people now, they are just talking to my ear off, man. It's like when I go there, I know their whole life story. I have no problems talking to people, because I've trained myself. I've taken so many classes. I know the exact words to ask. Where are you from? What do you do? Tell me about your family. What city do your parents live in? So many little things where I can segue a conversation. I can talk to anybody for an hour or two. When I go to Walmart, my wife, I remember if I was in Walmart the other day. I'm a Walmart guy. I asked the guy, he had one of those diabetes packs. I'm like, what is that thing on your hip right there? You'd be surprised. You ask somebody a question, and they're more than happy to tell you. But being scared to talk to people, Ronnie, was so big. You just go up to somebody and say, "Hey, how you doing today?"
That sounds like Ron Sr.
Yeah, our dad. We have an advantage, Ronnie. Our dad was a master conversationalist. The guy could talk to anybody. I'll say that. Yes. But that's not to say, it's like some people are born tall and they might have an advantage over in basketball. That's not to say you're going to be any better or worse than the next.
He just wasn't afraid.
I wasn't afraid to. I've already. I don't know why, but I don't mind messing up. I think I think the key for me is I've been fired so many times, running from jobs. I've had my spirits crushed from employers calling me and fire me. It's like, dude, if I've been fired 7 times, so I mean, it ain't a big deal to me. But I
So
want to make.
numbers
Mhm.
and and fear. So basically, what he's talking about is numbers and fear. So if you're going to bring it back to perfection paralysis, what would you give them? So I can offer up an idea. Like if you're starting out in the real estate game or whatever business you're building, Kris said that what slowed him down was he thought he had to have the numbers perfect. What about, like, for me, I don't know how much it costs to fix a bumper, but you can hire that out, guys. There is plenty of people you can talk to. There's a lot of synergy businesses out there, like contractors for you guys in real estate. For me, it's like bodywork guys. So if I look at a car and I'm like, I don't know that bumper, I don't need to know. I need to know, I think it's more than $200, but I don't have to have it perfect. I take a
Uh-huh.
picture of it. I call my guy and he's like, Ronnie, that's probably going to be $400. And
Yeah.
so now I've got an exact number to keep moving forward. So if you're just starting out in a real estate game, you go look at a house, maybe you can find someone to go with you. And over time, you will become that expert because you'll be learning from them as you're pricing out numbers and looking at things. The other thing you talked about was fear, fear of talking to people. So what would you give them to overcome? I mean, I know, well, before I let you talk, I think that, like, go do it. Like if you're practicing, you just gave them a great way to practice. If you're worried about going to talk to somebody's house, about buying their house, go to Walmart and talk to people.
Oh yeah.
Like you can walk up and down the aisles and say, okay, I'm going in there. You're sitting in your car in the Walmart parking lot. Like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to talk to 5 people. I'm going to be sweaty. I have 5 questions to ask 5 people. Where are you from? How you doing? I'm just getting to know the area. And then see how that feels and how you get better and how your delivery grows because you get more confident. So what do
Another
you think
way.
about that, Kris?
Another way I practice is I just go to yard sales. Years ago, I just started going to yard sales, bro. I
Yeah,
met
there's
one
lots of
guy.
people to talk to at yard sales.
Oh man, you'd be surprised. Those yard sales are great, and they give you the power to negotiate because you don't need none of that crap at the yard sale, but it gives you the ability to say, "I'm going to pay 50 cents for this, 50 cents for this," and if they say no, you walk away.
Right. Huh.
Yard sale negotiating. I learned that from Les. I can't remember the guy's name. Yard sale. If anybody wants to learn how to be a better negotiator, go negotiate at yard sales.
Wow. That's a good one, Kris. I never thought about that, man.
Yeah, man, it works for me. It worked for me.
You may not think this stuff is important, but at some point in your life, you want to grow your business and you have to teach other people to do what you do. We
Yep.
kind of expect our salespeople to know, but it's nice when you can teach them some things. And right now, I'm like, wow, yard sales. We have a yard sale competition with my team.
Yeah, man. See who can offer the lowest price.
Yeah. What else you got?
All right. So we said before we get to our questions, it's 1:30 now. How could we provide now? What is going to be our unique sales proposition, or you called it your value proposition today for some of our viewers, Ronnie? I know you offer car knowledge. You could just cut the camera on, Ronnie, and start talking about one of a million things about cars and why people need to get what amount of car and what they need to spend. I mean, you could just give so
Yeah.
many tips on car buying, right?
Yeah.
I can just talk. I could literally turn the camera on, dude, and talk. I mean, I could probably talk 1,000 hours about different scenarios about about houses. I like to hear what can we give our viewers? Okay, getting back to the shared economy, Ronnie. We walk and talk and live in the shared economy. And I was telling you what I'm doing for my clients. We're doing house hacking. What can you do right now? What do you own right now today that you can do to provide value for your community? And for my clients, is for my single guys, all I'm doing is hacking up their house, Ryan. We're renting out the rooms. I got one guy, we rented out 2 bedrooms, so he went from making nothing on his house. Now he's making $1,050 a month, and he's not doing anything extra. Talking about the shared economy, all he's doing is sharing his bedrooms.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, so with you're sharing your card knowledge. What can our viewers do right now today, just with something that they know, whether it's how to My kids watch this video on TV, Ronnie. They just have a class on how to make the best bubble machine. I mean, how to blow bubbles out of a bottle. I mean, different things you can do just to add value to your community.
Well, yeah, Lyft and Uber come to mind. I mean, I have people that come in my office, and you can go to the website and pull up the qualification of the cars. Like they have Uber X and Uber Black. They have different categories of vehicles that pay so much. Like and it's dependent on where you live. Like in Colorado Springs, I don't think I've seen many of the Uber Blacks or the upper end cars. They're like limos.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that drive Nissan Rogues and they drive RAV4s and Subarus and stuff like that. I mean, it was like basic transportation.
Yeah.
But let's say that you're trying to get ahead in life. That's something you can do. Instead of buying a car that you want or like, you can actually get a nice little vehicle that you can use to make you money. Now I've never been an Uber driver, but I've used them many times.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about the shared economy and you're trying to grow your income streams, then buying a vehicle that's intentional.
Oh, man.
This car is going to last me, get my kids to school, and it's also going to make me $500 a month. I'm going to use it 20 hours a month to Uber. So that type of thing is something you can do right now.
I like that, Ronnie. Let me ask you this. Can you even use that for TaskRabbit is what I was talking about. Can you lease a car and do Uber with that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's just cash flow. So basically you've got to, I mean, they don't require you to turn over the title. They just, we'd have to go look at the qualifications, but put it to you this way, the people that I've sold cars to, they did loans on them. So they didn't own them. So they had a loan and a payment, but then they're still going to use the car for Uber. So of course you can do it if you lease the car. However, that's it. You know what, though? I'd have to get back to you on that because I was doing a lease the other day and I saw something that said rideshare. So, and the loans are the lenders and the insurance companies are getting smart to this stuff. How these vehicles are being used. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'd like to speak intelligently about it and I need to research it more.
That's a good one, man, because I know when I did do it, you know what, Ronnie? I did Uber, brother. I don't know if I told you. Huh?
You drove?
I drove Uber about 2 years ago, Ronnie. I said, you know what, man? I need something else to do. My wife did it, and she was like, she didn't like it. She drove for a week and hated it, And I'm like, let me try this because I enjoy talking to people. Dude, yeah. I went out there, man. I want to give you my best day. Picked up a bunch of drunk people out of Virginia Beach. Make $50 a ride. One night I might have made $250 on one night. But I'm like, you know what? This ain't for me, man. I'm done.
But think about that, Kris. Think about it. If you're scared to talk to people, remember the topic of this thing was baby steps.
Yeah.
Like you're talking to Kris, you're watching the video, and you see me. We all start with babies, and so if your fear right now is talking to people, and you're single, and you have time to do Uber 3 hours every Saturday for one Saturday a month.
Yeah.
You can talk to like 15 or 20 people in that hour. You could have your little pad up and go, where are you guys from? How you doing today? Yeah. How would you be interested in me in evaluating your house? And they're going to laugh at you and talk trash to you, and you're going to learn and learn and learn and master your delivery. That's what Robert Kiyosaki says. You got to go fail faster. You got to find difficult things to do to make you uncomfortable. You know what I mean? The plant doesn't break through the root until it's uncomfortable, like whatever it is. But, nothing happens until you're uncomfortable. When you feel yourself sweating, you might as well smile because you're about to learn something and you're about to get better right now. I mean, it's going to happen. It happens instantly, man. Like when your mind expands, it never returns to its original state. So look for those times when you're starting to sweat. And embrace those times where you feel uncomfortable because you're about to get better, right now. There's no, well, after I sweat, it's going to be 8 weeks. No, it's like the next day, you automatically have this expanded mind that you can use with the next client.
Nice. Yes. New life is painful. Nothing comes. New life has to be painful to bring it through. Every birth is painful.
Well,
everything.
I'm a guy, so I can't speak on that. But, you know, for your moms out there, we appreciate it.
Yeah, new life. Nothing comes to new life unless it's painful. All right, let's go
Yeah.
and get to some questions, my brother. So, the sharing economy, what can you do today? I'm going to tell you what I do right now. I cut on the camera. This is going to be the best month for me on YouTube, guys. We got 4,000 subscribers this month. 4,000 subscribers this month. We're getting over, my best day has been over 360 subscribers. Excuse me. And but I want you to know that it didn't happen overnight. I've been building this up for quite a while, but I decided to make a decision. Start. I remember I learned from Evan Pagan. He did a training one time. He said, "What can you do today, right now, to provide value to your community?" For me, it was cutting on the camera. Cutting on the camera. What can you give away for free? It took me a while. It took me about, I say about 2 years. I kept thinking to myself, Ronnie, what in the hell can I give away? What can I? Because Evan Pagan, he has his courses that you take. He's like, you gotta find out what you can
Yeah.
give away for free. What can you?
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
How
That's where I'm at. I hear you.
it went around and it swirled him out of my head so long. I'm like, what can I give away for free? And he was like, once you cross that bridge, your career is gonna go like, go like this. And I didn't understand it, brother, until I actually, or until I'm living it now, you know. So, what for our viewers, and even you, Ron, and even for me, what can you give away for free that will add value to your community right now?
Well, I'm in the same boat as you. You know, I enjoy these talks, man, because my whole thing, and I'm creating it. You've been talking to me about it. Is that I'm not a unicorn. You know, I dropped out of college. I always tell people I got a master's degree in 1 year. I mastered in drinking and hanging out. You know, and so I didn't need to go back to college and get a PhD in that. So
Yes.
basically, people, when you're out there starting and you're taking baby steps to become an entrepreneur or become a business leader or whatever the case may be, your fear is not real. You look at other folks and you think, man, they've got it so much better than me or whatever.
Yep.
But you asked a question like, what can I give away for free? I want to teach people that they can believe in themselves.
Yeah.
They don't need to worry. They need to put in the work. They need to get uncomfortable. They need to do all of those things. But
Work over
don't let the
worry.
outside world intimidate you.
Hmm.
That's what I want to give away. I want people to understand they can make it.
Nice. Nice. I think you walking the walk and showing them your story will help people you'll be their on ramp, Ronnie, to pull them on, you know?
Well, I would hope so. If it just helps one person, I'd be happy just to understand that they can do it. You know why? Because if I look back in my life, there were like so many people that, once again, they fanned my flames. They believed in me. There's a lot of people, like thousands of people didn't believe in me. And that's the normal. But there's going to be some people that you talk to and you start looking back in your life and, 10 years back, you can see when someone made a difference in your life. They're like, Kris, you can do this, man. You can be the best real estate guy out there.
Yeah.
And and at that point, you may not have believed it yourself, but someone in you. And so, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about, helping give back.
I want to read
Hey,
a
can you
quote.
talk to them about this Upwork website you were talking to me about?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that at the very end. I'm gonna put that up for them at the end. But I want to read you a quote real quick, man. I went to the bathroom the other day at this place. They were talking about what you're just saying. That people believe. Man, where's this thing at? I gotta read it to you, Ronnie.
Hey, man, MTB Mac is talking exactly about what I'm talking about. Hey, MTB Mac says, think about trading in your truck person. He has a 29-foot trailer. He molded the idea of trading in his paid off 1,500 on a 2,500. So he had a half-ton truck. He was thinking about trading it in for a 2,500 truck, which is basically they supposedly told more. And it was going to be about 40,000 or so for a used one. And he didn't do that. He's like, he likes the payment idea. I mean, I think that's smart thinking. Live intentionally, make sure that you're going to use that truck to its capability.
Nice. All right, well, we can get to questions, man. Let's do it. Let's get to the questions, Ron. I don't want to skip too many. You got them? Go ahead.
I have to scroll up.
You got it. Welcome to YouTube hosting, my brother. Welcome. I'll go down. I got one here. Oh no, they don't.
Here's one for you. It's like her name is Low Emprise Whitson. She's in Minnesota, man. We both used to live in Minnesota. I lived in
Wow.
Burnsville. Chris lived in Woodbury. So, what city are you from? LLO Emprise Whitson. She asked, "How do you decide the price when wholesaling to buyers? How do you decide the price when wholesaling to buyers?"
It's very simple, guys. If you are wholesaling, you've got two equations. Two equations for you. We have some acronyms in the real estate business. R. All you investors out there that think is AVR, it's not AVR, it's ARV, the after repair value. Remember, when you're selling to cash buyers, all we care about is what we can sell it for, right? All we care about, I'm a cash buyer too. And it's easy to find cash buyers. We all cash buyers are just like a stay-at-home mom going to Walmart. All they do is go in there and look for the best deals, right? That's all we're doing. So your question is decide the price. ARV, your Mayo, your another acronym you got to know. Just download my book. Go to Amazon. Mayo, your maximum allowable offer. Maximum allowable offer in real estate has to be 0.65 or zero point 0.7 or right around there. 65 or 70% times ARV minus your repairs, minus your wholesale fee. I'm presuming low in price, you're talking about wholesale. Yeah, wholesaling. So you got your Mayo maximum allowable offer. Ronnie, I'm going to have to set up so I can have my board here too, man. It'd be nice to have a board for both of us. Your
Yeah,
maximum allowable offer is going to be ARV 0.65 or zero point 0.7 times ARV minus repairs. Typically, it's 40,000 minus your wholesale fees. That's how you're going to get your maximum allowable offer. You gotta have it. You have to live by equations. I didn't get where I am today by doing shit by emotions. When I'm looking at a house, I remember watching the Masters when I was in the game, just like you, Ryan. You see people when they ask you a question, you're like, I mean, that's cool. People ask me about a house, I'm like, I mean, it probably looks like the last 1,200 that I looked at.
yeah.
So when you're looking at a house, I just want to know, tell me about. I want to know more about the seller. The seller is the paramount of all this stuff. And the numbers, it's like, just tell me the numbers. I don't care if you got the best house. People tell me about this, like, dude, I got this house. Man, it's got 3 bedrooms. The bedroom is huge. The kitchen's got this. It's
Oh,
over
that
there by
excitement,
that. Oh
excitement.
yeah. Oh my God. I'm like,
That's a yeah.
huh?
That's an emotion. You get excitement and emotionally charged, you're gonna spend more.
You gotta take the emotion and take it. Yeah, but I was saying, Ronnie, I remember when I saw my mentors look at a house. OM Jesus. OM Jesus. When I would see them go to, when I started, I'd be like, man, I got this smoking deal. They would come to the house like this. Yeah, so blah 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 XYZ ABC. Okay, I'll call you shortly. They didn't give a. I mean, they did not care about. I mean, there was no smiling, and I'm like, I used to look at them in such I mean, I was looking at them, and I was so awed. Like, I got this smoking deal, dude. I mean, you're not excited about it? I never told them that, but now I'm like, I am living that. When I look at a house, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I don't care. It's like I have no emotion over it. I don't know. Does that come with time, perhaps, with just being an entrepreneur?
I think so. I mean, but what you said was very valuable. And for people out there listening, getting into the real estate game or building your business, Kris, you said it, man. Your mentors. You can't learn. It's difficult to learn from yourself. And so you've got to find somebody that's able and willing to mentor you. And
Yeah.
then you can, but some people just aren't mentorable. They fight back. They just want to do it their way. And so you're going to learn your lessons one way or the other. Either you're going to get a mentor or you're going to listen. Or, you get people, I talk to people and their cup's already full. There's nothing else that you can pour into them.
Yeah.
And I just look and I'm like, oh, you want to learn your lessons the hard way, And so when they want to do that, it's not, I'm not saying either one's right or wrong. I would choose the mentor path. Because learning lessons the hard way is what I did for 10 years, and it was difficult. I got the lessons learned, but man, it costs a lot of money, and a lot of time, and a lot of pain. So get a mentor.
Well,
Hey,
no,
what
I
about
think
this
now.
question?
Okay. But
MTV
be
Max.
mentor.
I don't know what city you're from, but Kris, he pointed out he's got a acronym FORM form: family, occupation, religion, money. R can be risky professionally. Do you agree? I would like him to
Or
elaborate a little bit, but I like that. I like that acronym.
religion can be risky professionally. You know what? I thought about that before I professed my walk with the good book. I thought about that before I professed. You know, man, I think it can be. What was that? MTB Mac. Where you at, MTB Mac?
Yeah, I don't know what cities he's from.
For me, I was gonna say this to the end, but I'm a Jake's junkie. I'm a Jake's junkie. Jakes was saying the other day, I want people to learn from my ministry and not from my misery. I'm like, I want you to learn from the stuff that I already did so you don't have to go out there and get whacked in the head. You know, I'm like, if I can have the real estate investing and raise financial literacy ministry, to me is like, and I want to talk about the good book of the great man that walked the planet 2,000 years ago. You know, I mean, it's for me. It ain't for everybody. But you know what? One thing I don't try to do, I praise God, I don't try to be all things to all people. I do
That's a
not
good
try
way
to.
to look at it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna get everybody. I don't want to be all things to all people. I don't really care. What about
Yeah.
you, Ryan?
Well, I have this on my desk.
Like it.
I mean, I don't really worry about it. I mean, it comes up in conversation. I don't use it. It's not something I use. It's there for me. It's there to remind me. Like I've got one over here that says, um, "A man who walks with the Lord always reaches his destiny." You know, and so I mean, that's for me. If I have a client or someone in my office that doesn't agree with it, it doesn't
I
it
don't think
doesn't
it
affect
bothers
me.
you. Would you even
No,
care?
no, I wouldn't care. I would be like, that's fine, man. You have the right to your own opinion and religious beliefs. My job is not to sit here and bring you to Christ. However,
Yeah.
you know, it's if you want to talk about it, we can. But I would like him to elaborate that on like art can be risky professionally, like religion can be risky. Like
Man, shit.
I guess it's risky if you're trying to sell stuff and you're only talking about religion. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I would need more elaboration on that question.
That is a good one. But you know, Ronnie, I think I like it when I meet Muslims. I'm like, dude, I respect this. I respect you to the highest because you live the way you want to. You haven't been, you know, it's not like I'm pushing my stuff on you. I just ask you, just don't mess with me on my stuff, you know. And I think people, you know, what's weird, Ronnie? People like it when people are attracted to confidence, brother. They are attracted to confidence. I don't care what you are. If you like a
Yeah.
strong atheist, do your thing.
Milo. Yeah, people love to listen to him talk because he's so confident and well spoken. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
it's not somebody that I follow, but
yeah.
you know, I mean, whatever you choose, just
Be
believe in it
confident about
yourself.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
be confident about it. I don't think it's a problem for me, man. I just, you know, it's just for me, right? For MTB, yeah, for me. I don't try to push it on people at all. I just speak it and it works for me.
I will tell you this much. I have never wanted to use religion to make money. Never.
Mm-mm.
It's just never been something that I have felt I needed to do. I didn't feel good about it or right about it or anything. So I don't use it to prop up my business,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense at all.
Well, on that, let me piggyback on that, Ronnie. Only concern I have with that is I want people in the word to get paid. I'm like, why we gotta be broke? Why do we have to be? You know, it's like God bless the what is the receiver? It's better to be a giver than a receiver. I don't believe that. I believe it's better to be in the position to be a giver. But in order to be a giver, you have to have a receiver. You have to have a receiver. There's 50-50. So it's like there's so much different philosophies we could talk about, you know, regarding the religion, I guess, conversation. But I'm like, you know, why can't people in the word get paid, Ronnie? You know, why can't I talk about it and get paid? You know, so I don't think that it has to be a split. I think it can be both.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that opinion. You
Yeah,
know,
cool. Yeah. You got the next one, Ronnie, right there at
well, this wasn't really a question. Jay Shallow Shay, I don't know what city she's from, but she said haggling prices is nothing new. Good way to start. The thing that stops me from talking is actually asking stupid questions.
what's a
So, you know,
stupid question?
everybody's heard the thing, there is no stupid question. But I mean, you know, the thing about it is that's where the learning is. The learning comes from asking stupid questions.
Yeah.
You know, once you get made to feel uncomfortable because you're seeking out of school, you're not able to keep up with the conversation. Good news, you're learning. You're starting to sweat. You're starting to feel it. You're starting to grow. So, you know, if you feel like you're asking stupid questions, write them down and Google them, research them, and get those answers. But don't be afraid to ask the questions. I have to ask my questions about the cars they want to buy. They're like, this car has triple blind spot and this, that, and the other. I'm like, really? Let me Google that. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult, man. I can't know everything, you know.
But you know what? I think it's a good walk to say I don't know. And I mean, it's not.
I love saying I don't know, but I'll get you an answer.
It looks better, right? It's like I don't know, but I can find out.
I can find out. You got to be willing to find out. I mean, if you just say I don't know, you still want to buy? I mean, it's okay to say I don't know, but be prepared to go look up the answer.
Let me tell you,
you're the expert. Figure it out.
Let me tell you some tough questions, low in prize. I love it. I love asking crazy ass questions. I just go up to somebody, and all you have to do is preface it. I've learned this from a course I took. Preface the crazy question. I always say, "Let me ask you would you mind if I ask you an off the wall question? How much do you make a year? Or how much do I love getting them uncomfortable. How much do you make a year? Or how much do you make an hour? Or I even love the one, what do you owe on your house? How much do you owe? You know, and it's immediately, if you feel that tension, you're growing, baby. You're growing.
Yeah, exactly. Real tough questions, man.
Tough questions.
You're looking at low end.
You missed one, Ron.
Which one? Low end prize right here? She's like, I'm starting my own business, and I find it hard to find private money lenders. There's not a lot of friends and family who have money to invest. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, go back one. Right above Jay Shiloh. Right above. Huh?
You read it. I can't find it.
It says, how do you find and know when you have the right real estate agent?
How do you find and know you have the right real estate agent? Huh. Well, you know, I mean, you're talking about doing it from an investor standpoint, correct? I mean, or are you just talking about buying a house and financing it for 30 years?
Yeah,
that's a tough one. I mean, like,
I would presume she's talking about low enterprises. You're talking about investment, right? So it's tough finding realtors, and we don't use realtors. God, where's my knife? I gotta cut my throat. I don't want to hear nobody say realtor. Realtor, not a word, my brother. It's not a word. Realtor. What's she saying?
Hey, you got to answer Marcus Robinson's question.
Yeah, let me finish with her, then we get to that one. Realtor, find a good investor-friendly realtor. You have to sit down with them, ask them, have they ever represented a buyer? If not, it's okay. I don't mind working with newbies because you can mold them. But go to your local REIA, guys. Go to Meetup. Just type in real estate investing on Meetup. Go to your local real estate investors association. Just hang out with some realtors there. Usually the investor-friendly agents are hanging out right there. If they're talking about dealing with retail houses and showing houses, pretty houses, that's not the person you're looking for. Hit it, Ryan.
Bro, if you enjoy, so Marcus Robinson says, bro, if you enjoy talking to people, I'll drive down there and we talk over a round of golf. I'd pick your brain apart. I'm serious. Is that his question? That's a statement.
Yeah,
Marcus, are you in Virginia?
You Virginia or Colorado? He might be, I don't know where he's at. But yeah, we can do golf. Matter of fact, we got a new Top Golf here. I love going to the range, dog.
Yeah, I love golf. So Kris is saying yes. I'm saying yes. If you're in Colorado, we can golf. If Kris, you can golf there. But you got to tell us where you're at, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus is something. I can't wait to meet this guy, man.
How about?
Yeah, by the way, we are in the middle of Hurricane Florence for my party people viewers. I am in the middle of hurricane. That's why I love you. We love you. Why do we do this? Because we love you. I'm in the middle of a hurricane, every house full of people. I'm working. And you know what's crazy? We get to do this because my brother and I are business owners, we're entrepreneurs, and the money comes in. We have system in place to bring money in, so we have the time to talk to you and teach you this stuff. Go ahead, Ronnie.
I think she says this one for you. I'm also in the process of building. This is low prize Whitson. She says she's in the process of building her team, and one of the things is finding a real estate lawyer to. Do you just keep, you keep seeking out different lawyers and go through the questions to see who fits you best?
I don't. What? Give it to me again, Ronnie. I'm sorry.
I think if I'm reading it right, it's like she's trying to figure out how to pick the best real estate lawyer for her team. She's building an investment team.
Okay, depending on what city you're in, we're talking about real estate. Okay, an attorney is hard because I got to be honest with you, they're rough.
She's in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
She said this is a real estate investment company, and she's building a team.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna need an attorney or a title company. I'm gonna be frank with you. Is this low end prize?
Yeah, low end prize.
It's the one I wanted to catch two up here, Ronnie. I want to talk about rental property. Low end prize, it took me about 5 years to find, or not less, weed through all the crappy title companies and attorneys in my area. I hate to say that. I think I tried about 12 before I found the one or two that I like, man. And I hate admitting that because it took me so long. And people, it's weird. People email me and call me all the time. Who's in investor friendly title companies and attorneys? Because not a lot of them will do subject to. They won't do lease option, owner financing, carry back notes, master lease options, contract for deeds, land contract. All that investor friendly stuff is how we get paid. And I gotta tell you, you're gonna need a good referral. God, it's gonna be tough. And if you're not the first few, they're probably not gonna turn out. You're gonna have to get a referral, man. Go to your meetup. My heart goes out to you for trying to find the best one. You got to go through some.
I hope that helped, low end prize.
Yeah, sorry. Like I don't have I would if you want to join my inner circle, I would obviously help you find somebody. I got some questions we could probably ask them. But I mean, I remember I had a subject to deal years ago. I went to about 6 different title companies and they were like, "This is illegal." You're not the one for me,
Right.
MTB Mac. This one here, Ronnie, she's reluctant to buy rental property because she's afraid of deadbeat tenants ruining her financially, or him or her. MTB Mac. Ronnie, you got rental property. I want you to go with that, man, because you're not full-time investor, but you still have rental property. Perhaps MTB Mac is not a full-time investor, so you can shed light on that.
I'll tell you what, man. So I had to learn those lessons. I have 2 properties out here that I was managing. I remember showing up. I'm ashamed to admit this. I had to show up at the job like, "Hey, where's the rent?" And then I found out later that you're not supposed to do that. And you can get in all kinds of trouble managing your own rental property. And I've talked about this in previous videos. You don't want to step over $5 to pick up $1. So fast forward to 2018, I have bona fide property manager managing one of my properties. I have another property manager managing a property of mine out of state. And I have one property that I still manage myself. But that person has been in the house for quite a long time. We have a really good relationship. So that's a good question, man. I mean, MTB, if you're going to be doing this and you're new to real estate, I would highly advise you to look into a property manager. I mean, and they do it good. I mean, they keep money on escrow so they can do repairs without even having to get you to write a check for it. You get funded every month. They know how to evict people. They know how to properly screen people through the application process to get them to rent your property. And that to me is worth the $100 a month or $150 you're going to spend. Now, granted, you don't have to pay them up front. I mean, they're just going to take the rent and they're going to take their portion and they're going to fund you the rest. So I would highly suggest looking into a property manager. What do you think, Kris?
Yeah, you said, Ronnie, go ahead, man. You can tell people. I don't know. I want you to be transparent. You can tell them about the one that we have that I work with you on out here. I mean, I am in the real estate business. It wasn't the best buy. We all have bad buys, but we get through it. Our adaptability quotient is we get through it together.
Yeah. Oh no, that's fine. We got a house in Virginia that we own that it's probably going to be in the family the rest of our life, and we're going to be laughing about it, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. But you know what?
Wow,
It cash flows every month. It
it
cash
can.
flows every month. It's not a problem. The house is not a problem. You know,
Oh,
it's like, what's that?
go ahead.
So like it's fine. So here, I'll tell you some other things. MTB. So here's something I learned recently in the past 3 years. Like you buy a property and you're keeping it and you're renting it out and it's cash flowing. You're making money or breaking even and everything's going smooth. I learned by hiring a property manager that I should be spending 1-2% of the total property value on upkeep and renovations every year. That way, you know, let's say you get a really good renter for 5 years, right? You're cash flowing, you're having a good time. But then that person moves out, which is what happened to me. And then the next person coming in, they were like, man, we need carpet. We need this. We need this. We need to do the deck. We got to do this. I had to write a check for like $5,000 right there on the spot. And
Wow.
so what I learned was check the house every year, put in 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. That way you're never shocked.
Yeah.
If you keep a lot of cash liquid on the side and it doesn't bother you, fine. You know, that's in your wheelhouse. But, you know, basically try to make sure you're doing upkeep and make sure, like, here's another thing I learned, MTB. Like, you know, those property managers require my renters to change the filters in the furnace every quarter. And they check, you know, so you can lose a furnace, which costs you thousands of dollars because you didn't have it written into your lease or whatever the case may be. But having a property manager elevated my thinking. I wasn't even checking that stuff before I had a property manager. But now that I have one, I'm like, man, I only want to work with a property manager as a holder of real estate because it takes so much time off the table. So yeah, that's my advice on that.
That's a good point, Ronnie. You know what? It's funny. That's funny you mentioned. It's funny you mentioned the air filters. I've
Yeah,
got a clause in my lease, like if we have an issue based on a dirty air filter, your security deposit is done. You know,
yeah,
we give them the air filters every month,
right.
and that's for the ones that I do rental property on. Like, remember, I don't even teach rentals anymore. We do lease options. And is that MTV? Yeah, we do lease options. So, but this is not a training for lease options today. All right, keep going down, Ronnie.
So
Martin K, you're right. Lease options, the only way to go.
what about this one, Chris? SR. Looking to pay a real estate coach $5,000 for the year. I get assignments, his course, and weekly group coaching calls. Is it worth it? Should I pay for one-on-one? And how do you know if a real estate coach is good? And he's from Pennsylvania. That's like right up your alley, Chris.
Yeah, I'm seeing SR. You chiming in, man. You on the grind, brother. You're gonna pay either way. I gotta tell you this. Just like when my brother broke down the car before he was breaking down the leasing a car as opposed to owning a car. Most real estate guys hate cars. You know, I'm just saying, generally speaking, it loses money, goes down in value. It takes my money when
Yeah,
I work on it. As opposed to houses, they go up in value. So I
yeah,
gotta tell you, dude, the guys I know, when I go to the foreclosure auction, they're wearing the same shoes they had on last 3 years. They got holes in their pants. The cars they drive are busted, but they're walking around with $100,000, $200,000 check, buying a house on the spot. You know, so those are the guys that
living
I
intentionally.
they're living intentionally. Yeah, those are the guys that I follow. So
Right.
you're gonna
Yeah.
you're
So
gonna
you're
pay.
saying don't run to the
Yeah.
flashy
Oh,
stuff. They keep you broke.
yeah. For that reason. But I'm saying that for SR, you're gonna pay now or pay later. So you're gonna hire a mentor now, or you're gonna pay through the school of hard knocks. You know, and that's why my brother and
Right.
we should learn from our ministry and not from our misery. We do this stuff
Right.
because we have the time to. We've got the income and the time. Thank God we have the time. The income gives us the time, right, to do this out of the middle of the day where we need to be working. You know, we're taking the time out for you. But yes, and you know, the money to me is irrelevant. Like I might spend $2,000 on a course here or 500 there. It doesn't really. It's irrelevant if you learn one new thing one new thing can take your game up. It doesn't matter what it costs, you know. I remember when I found out that when I started taking my rents, requiring my rents to be due on the 28th of the month. I can't remember how much I paid for that, but now my rents are due on the 28th and they're late by the first. So when the first hits, if if my rents aren't in, I get to charge a late fee on the second, as opposed to the generally speaking population where they have their rents due on the first, late by the fifth. So we literally make more money on our rental properties because our late fees are paid earlier in the month. So little things like that that you learn. I mean, I don't know. I probably paid $1,000 for that one.
Yeah.
But pay, you got to pay. Either way, you're gonna pay.
Hey, what about this one, Kris? Luxury card store. She's from, or he's from right outside Philly. He's saying, I'm new to your channel. Do you buy and sell apartment buildings as well as houses, or just?
Yeah, right now, luxury card store. Luxury, I like that. Luxury card store. I'm just doing single family homes. I wanted to be a master of single family homes before I got into multifamily. Let me tell you why. I had a friend, one of my old good friends, when I used to be Ronnie, I used to be the vice president of our local real estate investors group, right? And I met some cool people there. This is probably 10 years ago. My boy George Rousseau bought a fourplex. And what he found out was if he had a problem with the upstairs neighbor, right, he'd go, well, deal with them. Then they start freaking with the downstairs neighbor, making them in trouble, making problems with them because he was mad at George. And then the one downstairs might be smoking, and the one across from them doesn't like smoke. And then one upstairs is screwing with the one downstairs. It just was a nightmare for George, you know. So I don't necessarily know. I haven't mastered multifamilies, but my partner Ron Brown is a master. I am going to get into apartments. It's one of my goals over the next few years. Apartments is the way to go once you have some capital.
Right on.
Yeah.
So let's see.
You got a lot here, Ron. You skipped over a whole bunch.
I'm not as good at this as you yet. You know, we're trying to not do perfection paralysis and mess up a lot and get better that way.
All right, let me do it.
Well, which one did I miss?
You mentioned that leasing a vehicle has good tax write-offs. Is that
Where's that at?
I don't know. It's up here.
Leasing a vehicle is good tax write-offs.
I'm just reading from. I'm sorry, Rosanna. Rosanna, where you at? Where you from? Is that for anyone, or is it for? Do you have to have a business running for tax write-offs? I know I had a talk with my CPA before after we talked.
Well, so they just changed the laws on that, and I would just say you need to talk to your accountant. Like my assistant used to be able to get paid by me and then write off stuff when she was driving around town and taking care of business. But they just changed the laws on that. Like I can still take the write-off, so I can pay her, I can reimburse her for gas, phone, things of that nature, but she can no longer write it off. I can't. So you have to talk to your accountant. So if you've got that type of a question, keep in mind, I am not a tax advisor. I only can tell you about my experience, but I would tell you to talk to your accountant or talk to a accountant. They can talk to you about your unique situation. So, you know, it's just a tough one to answer without knowing all of your situation.
Yeah, well, for Ronnie and I, we are by default business owners, and that can be misconstrued for some people that are trying to get in business when you haven't done a deal yet. Maybe you haven't flipped the car yet, or maybe you haven't flipped the house yet. So you're not actually. It could be misconstrued as getting into business as opposed to being in business.
Yeah.
So neither one of us are giving you legal or tax advice. However, when my brother recommended that I lease a car, I called my CPA right up, and I asked her if I could write off the monthly payment, and she said yeah. So. But you get your own personal level. Yeah, I think it's a good, for me, it's like, listen, I know, for me, I love whatever's fit for me, right? I like stuff that's fixed. I know if I got 500 going out a month for the next 12 months, I can type it in a calculator. Just like when I've got a vacancy, I'd rather have a vacancy as opposed to a bad tenant. When I've got a bad tenant, I can't punch it in a calculator.
It costs you money.
There you go, man.
Like
unknown.
Yeah, with the leasing, that's why I lease my wife's car. It's a fixed cost. I'm going to spend $12,600 on a 30-something car over 3 years. I'm going to put gas in it. I'm going to change the oil twice a year. I can calculate that out. It's going to probably equal 13 grand over 3 years. Reset, keep going.
Nice.
That makes sense. And I'm doing that intentionally.
Yeah, I like the way you broke that down for me. That helped me out a lot too, Ronnie. All right.
I'm glad it helped.
Where do you find mentors? Go to you got us. I mean, if you Ronnie has he does, you know, if you can, put your email in, Ronnie, too.
Yeah, I mean, mentors. I have a few. But I'll tell you this much: I'm always open for answering questions. If you email me, I'll answer your question to the best of my knowledge. But once again, I'm not a tax lawyer, CPA, so I can only give you advice based on my experiences. And I think that's what Kris and I are talking about. It's like we didn't have a Brown Institute or where did the president go to college? We didn't have a Harvard degree. We had to go through the school of hard knocks. And I really feel like, and Kris feels like, you shouldn't have to. Like, if we can answer some of your questions, help make your life a little bit easier, then we get satisfaction from that. I mean, it's not about making money all the time, giving back. And I think Kris and I feel the same way. It's like, I want to give back some of this stuff because I feel very blessed that I got to be successful. However, I think that you can too. Anybody can do it. That's the best country in the world to do it at. We have the best country. So we've already won the lottery, like Gary Vee says. You were born a human, not an ant, and you live in America. So the rest is just get up, go to work, make it happen. So if you need advice, send me an email. I'll talk to you all day long.
Put your email in there, Ronnie. And Bangladesh is hard. Right, America is easy.
Oh, well, let me put in a .com, so I'll put in.
Did you put Gmail in there, Ronnie? Bangladesh and I would say the Sahara Desert is hard. United States of America, easy. United States of America, easy. All right, let me keep reading, Ronnie. Glad you, Real McCoy, thanks for coming, my brother. You got the second job at 15. That was nice. Yes, 0.67. Kris, Martin K wants to know, I don't know what it is, Ronnie. What is investor carrot? I don't even know what that is. Let me Google it. What is investor carrot? Is that a real estate thing that I don't know about? Investor.
I don't see that question.
I don't know why it's coming up here. Investor carrot. Oh, websites. Oh, the website. Yeah, get a website, man. I mean, it's a couple of dollars a month. Get your website up. Yeah. Martin K, get your website up. You're mentioning lease option. Oh, leasing the vehicle. We got that one already. I'm starting my own business, and how do I find private money lenders? There's not a lot of friends and family who have money to invest. What do you do? That's from Low and Prize. Low and Prize. Ronnie, I wanted to ask you before I give her my opinion about or my philosophy on private money. Where did you get your money to buy your cars, Ronnie, and to get your stuff off the ground?
So that's a good question. I had to invest in my own business back in 2006 or so. I had to put in a grip of money. And so I leveraged my rental property at that point in time. I have a house that I've been paying it down, and there was enough leverage there and enough equity there that I can use I like doing it on my own if I can. But I'm attached to an investor that helps me with cars. Because in the car game, man, you just got to have a lot of liquid cash at all times. I mean,
accessible.
It's like what's that?
You have to cash accessible.
Access, and I believe I'm glad you said that. I think access to money is a little bit more important than just having the money. Like if you've got $200,000 in your bank that you can go write checks on, that's really good. But having access to $1 million is, and I believe you're going to pay somebody, whether it be a bank or an investor, or whatever. I think once again, stepping over $5 to pick dollar is very detrimental to your thinking, because you cannot live your life thinking that nobody else is going to make money on you. You just have to do the math and make sure you're making enough money so that when you pay the people that are around you or in your team, you're still making a profit. So I have to have an investor in order to get everything purchased at all times.
So you had a private investor starting out. Okay, well, Low and Prize, private money lenders. Good God, I could do a whole training.
Family she's asking who? Like, family difficult, but I work with Dad, dude. Dad funded me for a while.
Yeah,
which I think we're rare though, because family can, I don't know if I'd recommend family because it can be real difficult. We were very blessed. Our dad and mom were in a better position, but you know,
yeah, yeah.
would you recommend family for private money?
I do, Ronnie. I do because I don't want those profits leaving my family. And I think if people do what they say they're going to do, I enjoy paying interest to family, right? I mean, it's like, look, why would I give it to a stranger when I can give it to family?
Okay. That's a
But
good way to look at it.
I mean, I'm just that's one vantage point. But on the other hand, is like I know I can control myself. I know that my philosophy is my investors come first. My investors come first. Even if I don't make a penny or I lose money on the deal, I know my investors are going to get their money back. So for low end prize, if you have that mindset, you can use private money lenders. If you have the mindset as to where your investors get paid back first, use their money. If you don't know if the deal is going to work and you don't have any of your money in it, I want you to go use hard money. Hard money is going to be money that they're going to come out, look at it. They're going to be your second eyes opinion on this deal. Okay, so low end prize. I don't know your level of expertise. If you've never done a deal, you better not be putting out $100,000 of somebody else's money because you're going to lose it. All right, or your money if you've never done a deal yet. If you're starting out, go get hard money or a construction loan will help you not mess up. I don't like newbies with money. It scares me.
Yeah, money. Did you say newbies with money?
Newbies, yeah, we call it in the real estate game. We call it newbies. Newbies.
They got some cash and it just burning a hole in their pocket.
They're ready to invest, Ronnie. And they don't have the equations down. Remember the acronyms I was telling you about? The maximum
The
allowable
experience,
offer.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want you spending no money. Can't write a check. Can't lose it. Let's skip down to smoke with me.
Yeah.
Smoke with me. What's a good profit margin for a residential rental property, multifamily? Well, I don't have any multifamily. I'm sorry. Smoke with me. I don't have smoke with me TV. I don't have any multifamily. I'm not quite sure of what the profit margin would be. I believe this. There's never a stupid question. Will McCoy. Very, very right. Very, very right. Very true. Martin K. That's right. Keith Patterson. Patterson to that. Are we almost done, brother Ronnie?
I know,
Real
man.
quick. How do I find money to buy and repair? Yeah, you gotta. I mean, I got a whole course on some of that stuff. I'm gonna give you guys a link for negotiating too. I'll put my negotiating audio in here. I'll put that at the bottom so you guys can download that.
When you're taking baby steps, it's I think it was Henry Ford, the inventor of Ford and the combustion engine. I mean, we talked about this a little bit in the knowing a little bit about a lot, but it's okay to have people around you that are smarter than you. I mean, you don't have to be the end all for every answer. I mean, that's why the president has a cabinet. They have, not making it a political argument. I'm just saying the way that it's structured is so that he has a general that is a master in war. He has a secretary of state that deals with these types of people. It's okay for you to have a master contractor that you can talk to, or a CPA that you want to work with to help answer your tax questions. There's nothing worse than guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to be all right with this tax deal. I think you're going to go to jail, or you're going to get a tax bill at the end of the year for 10 grand that's due in 30 days. I got one of those a long time ago. See, this is what we're talking about. I learned that lesson a long time ago about the CPA. We're not just talking to hear myself talk. I got a tax bill, April 15th. You owe 10 grand. Where's our check? Or what are your payment arrangements? The IRS does not call you. They don't email you. They send you a letter. It's a formal letter. It's
certified.
It's an invoice. It's an invoice. And action starts to happen. And so, yeah, man, I had to pay 10 grand. I was like, what the heck? And so from then on, I count on and depend on an accountant to come to my office and bring me my paperwork and make sure that I'm buttoned up.
Me too.
Oh my goodness, man. And that
That
cost
feels good,
about,
doesn't it?
yeah, it feels real good. It feels real good when I write her a check. I'm like, thank you, ma'am. See you later.
I'm talking about,
So
didn't
get
feel
some
good paying
people
that
around you
10.
that are smarter than you.
It didn't feel good paying that 10 grand, did it?
It did not feel good. It emptied my account for months. I was all ready to do something else and done. So yeah, man, you got to get the right people around you, and they have to be smarter than you. You can't be the smartest person in the room. You can't
You're
be.
in trouble. You're in trouble if that's the case, brother.
You're in the wrong group.
Yeah.
You need to up your level, up your game, so that you're not the smartest person in the room. Then you can grow. Period.
All right, we get an hour and a half, Ryan. Let me get these things knocked out. Do you recommend living next to your rental? I think that's a cool idea. MTB Mac, that'd be real cool. Walk across the street, get your rent, or they can mail it to you. But I wouldn't tell them I'm the owner, though. You don't want them knocking on that door. You don't want them to know. You just tell them you're the property manager. You don't want to tell them you're the owner.
Yeah, my two in town are each about 2 miles away from my home, and I don't think I've driven by them in like 3 years.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. You
That's a
got to
good
get over
question.
there, Ronnie. You got to drive by those houses, bro, at least once a year, man. Nobody cares about
I
them more than
have a
you.
property manager that drives by them and tells me that they're fine.
That's okay. Well, as long as you got a good property manager. All right, let me see.
Yeah.
I got your private lending question, low improv. MTB Mac, good idea. A lot of people have been talking about purchasing your first multifamily, then moving in one before you know turning it over to someone. Okay, buying a multifamily and moving in one side. I can't comment on that. I don't know. I'm looking to have a rental portfolio because I want to generate income as well as that's going to be separate from my business. Good gracious. Yeah, I mean, unless you have, I don't know, low end price, I don't know what your capital reserves are, but unless you got some reserves, I don't want you buying and owning anything because I promise you, you're going to have one repair can wipe you out for a whole year's worth of cash flow income.
Yeah, Real McCoy said that he doesn't want jail time from trying to keep being poor and go right back to poor in jail. It's like, you're right, man. I mean, like when people, like you do your first deal or you get your first business transaction and you think you got a lot of money, but Uncle Sam has a lot of money. So you've got to, like, when you're setting up your business or your real estate investment firm, if you don't have a tax person at the table, I don't know, man. Good luck. It's going to be tough.
Be better, yeah. I wanted to buck the system too when I started. I'm like, man, I don't want to learn subject two. I don't want to learn this strategy. I'm like, I want to do the new stuff. Why do I need an accountant? That's for the older rich guys.
You think that, but now when I talk to people like tax time, right? And I'm like, hey, man, what's up, man? You want to go out to lunch? He's like, man, working on my taxes. I've been working on them for 2 weeks. I'm like,
wow.
Ew, how many hours? Like hours and hours and hours and hours. And I have to think to myself, what are you worth an hour?
It ain't worth it.
That's crazy, man. Like, and you still don't know if it's right. You spend like 3 weeks working on it, turn it into the government and pray.
Yeah, that's
it's
terrible.
like, no way, man.
All right. So, Ronnie, what would you like to leave our viewers, man? We're gone. I'm going to give you.
Well, we're talking about baby steps today and perfection paralysis. So I would definitely go back to what we talked about. If there's one thing we should all work on is finding a way to be uncomfortable next week. Like, I like what you said, Kris. What can we do right now? So like next week, everybody's in Walmart talking to people. If your problem is fear of talking to people, go to Walmart and start talking to people, or go to the yard sales or whatever the case be. But gotta find a way to be uncomfortable. Comfort will just keep you wrapped up in a blanket for the. So get uncomfortable.
Get uncomfortable. I like that. I like that one, Ronnie.
What do you want to leave?
I want to leave people with learn from our ministry and not our misery. Jake's, I mean, it hit me this morning. I'm like, learn from our ministry, And I ain't got to be religious. I'm just saying what we're saying. Learn from the lessons that we're showing you so you don't got to do. I wish, Ronnie, that somebody was doing a broadcast like this 15 years ago when we got started.
Dude, I had to learn so many lessons, dude. Yeah, could write a book just on the tax thing.
You know, Ronnie, I got some other stuff here on real estate, man. If you want to keep cranking them out, I don't want to hold you, man. These guys got about five more on here.
No, I'm good, man. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to beat real estate up today. I will. I'm going to get into it, but I want to talk more about business. That's why I like talking to my brother because he has so many different viewpoints, vantage points, and philosophies on business. And when you boil it down, I don't want you to get incest. I don't want you to commit business incest and only listen to real estate gurus. I did that for the first probably 8 years of my career, just listening to real estate guys. And then I learned that that real estate is just another business. That's all it is. And if you can borrow different ideas, I like to take it from the car business because the car business can be a good commodity business. People just want to look for the best price and move on down the street. But for the sharing economy, what can you do? What do you own right now? Whether it's your car or it's your brain, whether it's your house, you can rent a room out. What can you do now? I'm challenging you to compete and join us. Join us in the sharing economy. And this is the new rich, guys. If you haven't read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Work Week, where he talks about the new rich, I remember being a little upset about the new rich when I heard about them. Ronnie, are you familiar with this at all?
I am not familiar with the new rich.
The new rich, man, where space and time are irrelevant to your income. Space and time, and matter of fact, there's one more, space, time, and location. Location is irrelevant to your income. This guy wrote a book and he literally works 4 hours a week, man. And I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it until I read it, man.
4 hours.
Location is irrelevant, Ron. I mean, he's got assistants all around. Like I told you, I have an assistant in the Philippines, right? One of my assistants. I pay her roughly 50 cents an hour, and she is happy to work for me. She gets the job done expeditiously, perfectly. I'm checking over. She is happy. She speaks English. She works, I don't want to say she works for me. She works with me, and I only have one. So you can have 50 virtual assistants, paying them X amount an hour. But if you have some knowledge, some specific knowledge, go to Upwork is one. Go to Upwork for the sharing economy. Go to Upwork. You can put your skill, like for Upwork, people ask me real estate questions. They pay me just to answer real estate questions on Upwork. You can go to guru.com. I'll put a couple here. And this is just people who are going to pay you for what the hell you know. Upwork, Skillshare.com, Fiverr, TaskRabbit. With TaskRabbit, you deliver stuff with your car. But the new economy and the new rich, they use what they have already. Because I was at a point in my life years ago, I'm like, I need to look for stuff externally. I'm looking for how to do business externally. When I had to look, and when I started looking at myself and what I could offer my community, a light turned on, and it just kind of changed my life, and my income went up.
Yeah.
But Ronnie, you live in the shared. That's why I can't stress to you, man. You walk and talk and live in the shared economy. You're moving to the new rich. You have a location, but you're moving to the new rich. All you do is show your knowledge, bro. That's all you do is tell people.
I think it's so fun, man. I mean, I think it sounds real sappy that we want to help people, but I feel like a calling to do it. Like,
Yeah.
especially
Do
people
it.
that don't believe, like they're like, how can I do this? I'm like, you can, you know? And it's not going to be easy. It's not like there's no real get rich quick scheme that I
No way.
could ever believe in. But if you're willing to get up and go to work and believe in yourself, you can be as rich as you want to be in this country.
That's right, man. That's right. Let's see what we got, man. Upward, yeah. Good gracious, Ronnie. You just started. Oh, you just started now.
Well,
You just
oh,
started.
so low end prize is like she's got nothing. She's a newbie. What's your inner circle info? Can you elaborate, low end prize? What do you mean inner circle? Like the team
Oh,
of people?
that's my inner circle,
What do you?
Ronnie. It's for my coaching and training. She can just email me there. I put my email address there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my inner circle. We just offer coaching and training and consultation. Um, okay, cold corporate. Cold corporate. Sorry about that, brother. For your first deal, should you use cash or HELOC or 401k loan? What's your preference? Well, let me tell you, my brother. But Ronnie, you use for your let's just talk about business. Let's not even say it's a real estate thing. You use the equity. You pull the equity out of your house to help build your business, correct?
Yes, I did do that, and some private cash that I saved.
So you saved up.
Yeah.
You did master two rules, man. Wow. You know what, Ron? You it's so funny when I listen to you talk. You live the richest man in Babylon. You probably I don't do you are you familiar with that at all?
No.
This dude, the richest man in Babylon, man. He's got these sayings, man. And one of the sayings are own thine own home, and the other saying is don't spend your money on consumable goods. So you took your home, you turned it into a bank, and you financed your own home, and you didn't use that. I'm sorry, you financed your business, and you didn't use that equity for consumable goods. Tell our viewers
Not for
what happens.
consumable good.
What would happen to them if they use that equity? Because I don't want everybody to do what you did, Ronnie. I don't think that. I'm speaking for me. When I first took equity out of my house, I blew it all.
Right. Yeah.
But you,
Yeah, not all of my story was good all the time, but like, yeah, I mean, that's the intentional living part, Chris. Like, people need to understand wants and likes. Like, if you're taking out equity in your home for a want or a like, welcome to the world of 20 years in debt. It's never gonna change. But like, if you gave me $1 million cash right now, I'll show you how to turn it into 2.5 million.
but that's
Through
you.
work.
You couldn't do that years ago, though.
I couldn't do it years ago, but yeah, man. I mean, I just think that when people are starting out, you can look to outside investors, but I watch a lot of Shark Tank, and a lot of these guys are like, you don't need me, you can do this on your own.
Yeah.
And those lessons are difficult for people to understand. Like, getting an investor and having them in your pocket and taking a piece of your portion, and you sell the business and they get 25%. That could hurt a lot. So if you're trying to build a business and you have equity, make sure you have a plan, you have it written down, you understand how you're going to pay it back. You can't just keep borrowing to be borrowing. You got to have a repayment plan, So
But
that's a whole nother conversation.
I think it needs to be talked about because cold corporate. I am attracted to people that have shown me that they are savvy with savings. That is attractive to me. Let me tell you how I make myself magnetize into people with money. I'm at a point in my life now, dude, where people just call me, they want to give me money to buy houses. I'm blessed to do that. But I didn't start like that. I magnetized myself by saving up dollar by dollar. And I'm like, look, I don't even need you. But if you want to come into business, we can talk. I don't need you, but we can talk. So I'm saying to say that cold corporate, save up some money on your own first. Save up some, and it's not going to happen overnight. I started saving for real estate back in 2005. When you have some capital, you come to the table with some capital, I promise you, man, things change. When people see you doing business on your own, watch one of my videos from one of my hard money lenders. He's like, man, I will lend Kris money at any time for any house he wants to buy. Because I've sacrificed and saved over time, I put my own money in. People love it. When you risk your own money, you made yourself magnetize. You magnetize yourself to make money with other people's money. You got me? So now that my brother has used his money on his business, people are willing to give you money, no doubt, to buy cars because you've already been doing it with your own money.
They sent me a temp.
Hang on, Chris, I'm printing something for Judy.
Okay.
So I'll tell you this much, Chris. Like, when I look at low end prizes questions, so low end prize, I got one for you. You're asking tax liens, deeds, what your take. I heard they're a great market. Here's the thing. What are you going to be good at? What do you want to focus on with your real estate team? You know what I'm saying? Like, or do we want to chase what sounds good, feels good, other people saying is good? Last week, we had a person talking to Chris about condominiums, and so I'm a big fan of 3-bedroom, 2 baths at least, and a 2-car garage. I'm a big fan of that because that's my wheelhouse. That's where I've mastered that. And I'm comfortable in that space. And I'm not ready to be uncomfortable because I'm not doing real estate investing right now. Christopher is a master at the single family homes, but he also owns condominiums, money off of them. But he learned how to do that. So low end price, I can't answer what tax lien market is about, but I do want to know, what are you about? What type of stuff are you going to master? Which area of the market do you want to master?
Yeah. You got to pick. That's a great point. Pick one, the master of one. Learn how to master one, Lord Rise. You can't, yeah, don't try to do all, yeah. Just try to master one of them.
Did they email
All
it
right.
To you.
Who?
Oh, luxury card store. Is that another one of those online jobs? I like that one. Onlinejobs.ph. Onlinejobs.ph yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, get a Filipino. There you go. You got a Filipino shit. So online card store just hired a VA. There you go. Very good. That's going to be that sharing economy I'm talking about. You still there, Ro?
Yeah, when I got into the business, there are a lot of different people that offer a lot of different things. And this goes back to like what we were talking about. What's your unique value proposition? You're unique to you. Why would I want to work with low end price? Why do I want to work with Kris when there's 1,000 real estate investors that I can pick? And it doesn't matter if I like what you say or not. What matters is that you believe it. I believe that I offer a value to you. Whether you believe it or not is irrelevant. I know it and believe it. And so some of my clients, they are all in, work with me for 15, 20 years. And then there are people I meet that they want to do it their way. And that's okay. I don't need to shift my lane in order to make them happy. I don't spend my time making everybody happy. I spend my time working on my particular value proposition and the people that are magnetized to that. And so that way it continues to grow, and they send me more people that think the same way. So,
nice.
If you're continually working on things that everybody else says is good, like the market, man, like the S&P 500, like, hey, man, Apple stock's real great to buy now. You probably have enough money to buy one stock of Apple right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the hottest thing on the market. Where the money is made is hiring somebody to find the gold mines, the sleeper stocks, the stocks that actually have an opportunity to explode based not on feelings and emotion, but based on data, experience, and having the right person on the job. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's stay focused. Yeah. Stay focused. Don't chase shiny things.
So I hope I answered that. Yeah, we use some of your cold corporate. Try to use some of your money, and if you got a home equity line of credit, yeah, try that. 401k loan. We don't use traditional 401ks. We use self-directed 401ks, self-directed Roth 401ks, cold corporate. I would tell you to go look into that, please, before you take any loans against your 401k. Good God, I wish. Anyway, you look into self-directed investing. Self-directed. Go to equitytrust.com. My custodian is equitytrust.com. That's who I use for my IRA, my retirement, my 401k. I don't have a 401k, but I've got an IRA. Marcus Robinson, would you say it's...
Look at what Martin K said, Kris.
Go ahead. What did he say?
To all newbies, sweat equity is real equity. That's what Martin K said. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better, because there's so many lessons in doing your own paintwork or whatever the case may be. Obviously do it right, but you're going to learn so much. If you paint your first house, then when you hire the next contractor how you want it done. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you learn, man, I never should have painted that house. I got to repaint it with a contractor and pay after I lost 8 months of trying to paint it myself. Yeah, but good news, you just learned a lesson you don't have to go through again. So, like Kris said, you're going to pay now, you're going to pay later. One way or the other.
All right, what I got? I think that's it, Ronnie. Good gracious. What's the minimum capital needed? You guys, wow, yeah. We got to get off this thing. It's 2:40, Ronnie. I got to go.
Low end price, I'd say that's a good idea. Start with a single family and stay focused on it until you master it. I mean, and don't even worry about what else is appealing at this point. If you're starting with single family, I'd stick with it. Read Keller Williams' book, that I got started with. It's a blue book. It's about this thick. It's easy to read, and it tells you how to identify your paradigm, identify what you want to go after, and stick with it. You know, every time you go buy a property, and so you buy a property and you only make like $5,000, somebody's going to tell you, well, man, you should go do this. You know, it's like there's going to be always people telling you should do. People have been telling me for 20 years to try this, do this, join my networking, sell my stuff. You're a good salesman. You know, it's like, come on, man. I have a lane that I'm focused on. I want to master my lane so that people come to me. You know, so single family homes is a good point. You know, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2-car garage. I mean, they got garages in Colorado. You know, I don't know where you're at. Oh, Minnesota, yeah, they got garages. Don't buy a house without a garage in Minnesota.
No way. You'd be in trouble. And don't forget, one of the third pillars for real estate is expandability. If it's a 2-bedroom, can you turn it into a 3? You know. All right, Ronnie.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week. If you have topics that you are interested in, please post them in the comments. We will discuss them and bring that information back to you. Hope you learned something today. And as always, it's great, bro.
Yeah, man. Good seeing you. Make sure y'all give us a thumbs up so people won't think we whack. Give us a thumbs up, y'all. We're doing our best. All right, dude. Love you.
Love you too, man. Have a good day.
All right. Peace.